What is up, my lifted legends? It's your boy Adrian here, bringing you guys Livonia update news here today. Instead of me calling it 1.06, I'm just gonna kind of refer to it as the Livonia update, just due to the fact that update 1.06 has already been released on Xbox One and PS4. It was just a performance update. But let's go ahead and jump into these juicy notes. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we actually jump into today's update, guys, I did want to let you guys know that I actually do have a brand new private server up on Dayz. I've been streaming it since I've returned to YouTube, as you guys may have seen. If you guys haven't been catching the streams, definitely click on the notification bell, because I do now unlist my streams after they're over with, so you guys won't be able to see the streams unless you're actually there. But like I was saying, the server name and info will be down in the description. The server name and the password will be down there, so if you guys want to join into a server where there's absolutely no rules outside of one golden rule, which is just not to do, definitely feel free to join my server. Anyone is welcome. You can play however you want to play. If you want to play military style, if you want to role play, however you want to play, but just keep in mind there are other players here, so their experience might be slightly different from yours, and it can create a story of its own that might not be the adventure that you were looking for, but it definitely will get you into some fun. But let's go ahead and hop into today's update news. So with this new update being announced, they've decided to bring in 4 brand new weapons to the game, actually. The first being the Vega shotgun, which is a semi-automatic shotgun, and I honestly can't wait to get my hands on it, because as you guys know, if you guys watch my stream, I am an avid user of the BK133. I feel like that is the most consistent weapon in the game, just across the boards. Some weapons knock people unconscious, and I just feel like the shotgun kills. Like whenever I use the shotgun, that's definitely the way to go, outside of, you know, just having an M4 or AK. So now it gives me another viable weapon as far as using, especially with the Vega, so I'll just test them out to see which one is better between the BK133 and the Vega. I will definitely be doing some testing on that. Secondly, we have the Blaze rifle. The Blaze rifle is actually a semi-automatic rifle that shoots 7.62 rounds, so you know it kind of packs a punch on it, and it'll definitely eat through those vests and helmets. Can't wait to get my hands on it, but I don't know if it'll get me away from an M4 or an AK, guys. I love automatic weapons. Semi-auto weapons are great, but I don't know, it may be hit or miss. I'm gonna definitely have to do some testing with that Blaze rifle and just try and learn the bullet drop and whatnot. Right here it says that it shoots out to 300 meters, so I'm definitely gonna try and get adjusted to it and do some damage testing with it, just to see the bullet range drop off and the damage drop off and whatnot. The third weapon is the BK43. Now the BK43 is essentially the BK133, but instead it's actually a sawed-off rather than just being a pump action shotgun. Now this sawed-off, I see now that adds 3 shotguns into the game, so that gives the BK133, the Vega, and the BK43. Now I really think the BK43 is probably going to be the one I end up using the most, seeing how as it actually takes a lot less space than either one of the other 2 shotguns, the Vega or the BK133, but it still packs that punch. I'm not a person that tries to overextend the range on my shotguns, so I'm gonna be pretty close range using a shotgun. Why not have it sawed off? I really think that'll probably do something to the damage, probably make it hit even harder than a BK133 in my personal opinion. But like I said, we still have to try all 3 shotguns. I definitely keep you guys up to date on that. And for our 4th and final weapon that's actually being added to this update, the 4th weapon is actually a pistol, Colt 1911. Now I don't expect the Colt to actually hit that hard because it's a 1911, but I do like the way the 1911 looks, and that's even prior to me playing Dayz. Every other first person shooter that I play, well, any game that has, you know, guns in it typically has the 1911 in there, and I really just like the way, like, every game always captures how nice the 1911 hit, like how it looked, but none of them actually do any damage per se. So maybe this one will be a little bit different. It does shoot 45 ACP, so it'll probably be a great starter pistol, but once you actually get military grade loot, I don't think it'll be as worthwhile, but I definitely will be running this weapon a decent amount, considering the fact they do have a tactical belt that comes with a holster on it, and I'll probably just use it as a sidearm. Everybody that knows me knows I don't typically use pistols, but I want to give it a chance since it is the 1911, and that's every single weapon that's been added with this brand new update. But we do have two more things dealing with weapons that they've added to the game. The two things being they've actually added drum magazines to the game, and also now your attachments for your weapons can actually be broken. Now that is something huge for me because I don't really find myself picking up a whole lot of reticles, but I do find myself grabbing a lot of reticles, and I feel like that's gonna be something major for a lot of us because typically once we get one scope, I mean, we're fine with it, and then we just, until we die, pretty much use that scope, or if we get a better upgrade, but we never really truly go back and pick up that same exact sight. And I feel like that's gonna add a flair to the game, also with the ability for your clips to be broken in some of your other attachments. So that means I gotta pay a lot more attention to my gear than what I already had to. I just love when they make it even more detailed than what it already is, dude. They always add an amount of detail to the game I never think about because how realistic that the game already is itself, and it just seems like it gets more and more in depth with each update. But I feel like we need these updates to drop more frequently for it to go noticed. I love what they're doing with the game, but I would like to have these updates become a lot more free. But before I get to rambling, let's go ahead and get to everything else that they've actually added to the game. I can sit here and ramble about Dayz for hours. So they've actually added two animals to the game. One being one that was already here, which was fish. So we do now have the ability to go fishing. So if we craft a fishing rod, pretty much you can post up in an area and sit there and catch fish, which I've been waiting on for forever. I love the hunting element of the game, but it's nothing like sitting there and just, you know, tossing out a line, cracking back a cold one with your friend, and just going on a good little fishing trip. You know, it's something about those long days just out there on the beach. Nah, I'm joking, but I am looking forward to the fishing though, guys. Fishing has always been something that I want to implement into the game. I feel like it gave a extra way of, you know, actually acquiring food rather than just going through canned goods or hunting or actually sitting there literally actually chasing the animals. So now you actually have the ability to, you know, just sit there and cast a line and really just fish and then cooking and fishing. Okay, but the second animal they have actually added brings a little bit more flair to the game, which is the bear. I can't wait to actually run into these out there in the wild. I know a lot of you guys don't really believe in traveling on main roads. You guys like to cut through the woods and whatnot. I think that's gonna be a little less, I think that'll be done a little bit less now since bears actually do spawn. I just want to see about how many bear spawns there are, because I know wolves spawn on Chinaris, but there aren't a whole lot of wolf spawns, so I'm eager to see what they do as far as the bears. And then now that fishing's back in the game, I kind of feel like the bears are going to eat the fish, and then you'll be walking by and then bump into a bear trying to just hunt, you know, and get his food for the night, and now the bear is going to be your food, or either you're going to be the bear's food, depending on the way the situation plays out. And I just think it's an overall great idea. And then even to the extent of base raiding and stuff, that's gonna play a big part in base raiding, because some people actually do like to build their bases out in the wilderness. But if you have bear spawns, that's consistent food, but you also run the chance of dying to the bear itself. So it just adds a whole lot of flair to the game that I do think needs to be there. But that's all as far as the animals they've added. Hopefully we get more animals each update. I want them to make this world more diverse than what it is. I love the attention to detail and how far in depth the game goes, but I definitely feel as if it's time for us to get more stuff in these updates. Like they pack us with these updates. I really do feel like they try their best with them, but I don't feel like for the amount of time that we actually have to wait for these updates to be put out, I don't feel as if we're getting enough return on investment with that. I mean, the update's great, the weapons are great, the stuff that they're fixing is great, but look at the amount of time. It's all about the timing of these things, and I keep preaching that. It's really the timing. But they've went through and they've made a few adjustments to the game also, guys. So now if you actually don't have a blade or, you know, a stone knife or something of that sort, you can actually walk up to a bush and actually take sticks off it with your bare hands, and then you can walk up to you know, even bigger bush pretty much, and you can break off a long stick, and then you can use your bare hands to actually break that long stick down in a small stick, which is something that's been added to the game. And to speed up the pace of the game, I've noticed that they have actually made it now to where cars spawn with certain parts, and before this update, cars spawn with certain parts. Like me playing in my private server recently, I've noticed that cars spawn up, it may have everything except like a radiator and a tire, maybe a spark plug and one tire. It's some along those lines, and now they've even made it to where they spawn with a certain amount of gas in them. I really think they're trying to get the pace of the game to be sped up, because the game is kind of slow at times. I will say that. As far as like the traveling and stuff like that, I think they're getting to the point of understanding that not everybody has like 5 or 6 hours to go and run across the map like I do. There are people that have jobs, so that is definitely understandable, and I think they're thinking about that as far as like adjusting the way the cars spawn, and like, you know, what spawns on the inside of the cars and what parts that you actually do need to go and grab. So they are thinking about us, guys. I think it's just taking a little bit more time to get these updates out than what they want to, but they are getting them out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, we got about 3 more things they've added to the game, guys. They've added the ability to crouch and prone as you throw your grenades, which I actually think is a good idea because it helps you arc into certain areas, or if you're being shot at, it makes for a good technique as far as like throwing smoke grenades or even a frag at your enemy. But it's all sorts of different stuff that can be used for. And they've also made it to where items are now spawn in greenhouses, and you're actually able to eject bullets from your firearm, which I think those are minor. Everything else pretty much after the animals were minor things that were pretty much added to the game. Not added to the game, but stuff that was already in the game that's just been slightly, you know, updated or slightly changed. But overall, I would probably say, as of right now, what I'm reading from these notes, I would probably give this update a 7 out of 10, just from the notes that I've read. And hopefully they'll actually be adding more performance to the update. Like they'll have performance upgrades and changes and stuff like that. They just did a performance update with 1.06, but 1.07, I feel like they still have a little bit more leeway to help with the frame rate drop. The update also helped with the blue screens that I was having. So I think they're thinking about us all in all, guys. But hopefully you guys did find this video helpful. If you guys did, definitely don't forget to hit that like button and that sub button, and it is well appreciated. And I'll catch you guys in the next